and see how we come in, how exactly we come in, so that we can work together for mutual benefit on these projects which they have around us. And you know our major problem on this campus is water. That's the big problem that we have.
You need to come to Arizona. We're the driest place on earth, but we have the best agriculture in the world. Yeah. And the University of Arizona, matter of fact, the Minister of Agriculture from Ghana and his staff are coming over to visit. And the University of Arizona is known for its work with Africa. So it's a very good place to go. You go to a place that has very limited resources in water because you know they have developed it. For over 1,000, maybe 2,000 years, the traditional people have developed the canals that we still use today. That's now extended to being 800 kilometers long. Mary. I wanted to introduce from our host family, this is one of your students.
Which school?
I'm accountancy level 5,
Okay.
Chungong Dear the Rainbow, one of the students you are supervising.
Okay. So all your projects here, and I've not had time to read them. All those I'm supervising that as soon as I come back, I would like to see you people somewhere after the 6th of January, between 6 and 10, so that we look at your projects together. I'm taking them along with me to read them.
Thank you.
Because my holiday started today.
This man is very, very key also, with Makuda, with Mr. Polycarp. A very strong person in great position of leadership in this area. The number one after the fawn, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
In my mind.
I agree. I agree.
They said you related to this other one.
This is my cousin.
Okay.
I'm a really engineer by profession, and I was in Cameroon Bamenda Corporation. Then I'm President General of the Bamenda Culture and Development Association. We're in partnership with them. He came here on our ticket.
Okay, that's good.
We just dedicated 2 corn grinding machines that will affect, there will be 5 that will affect 6,000 people. I know that you have the camera, just shall we take a picture? Would you mind if thank you. Could we take a picture with you? If you do that. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Let me give to
Thank you, sir.
as we are here.
Would you mind if we have a photograph of them?
No problem.
Very good.
You want me to
Everybody come, we can make a big line here.
They just called me.
No, I'm not seeing that.
Yes, I will call you when you get there.
Are you
I
seeing
will
as
be back
well?
at the end of January.
Okay, then I will, because I'll be coming back here. I'll be coming back to Cameroon on the
Yes.
6th of January.
Okay.
Problem, stand up. They're not seeing you stand up.
Fernando, you need to get up.
I am too big. No, then it goes behind.
We can make more room.
It goes behind the
Make
leg.
more room.
Go behind the lady.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Everybody's on his leg.
There, we're fine.
Just one.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you wouldn't mind signing our visitors book.
Yes, come.
Okay, well, here, let me seize the
Mr.
opportunity to make
Would you mind if we take pictures?
to make
of
myself
your
also
children?
known. I'm Angafa Valentine. I'm the current manager of the Bamboo Water Authority. I got involved in creating this contact.
Okay. That's good.
Is you maybe your supervising student?
Because she's just taking advantage. Okay, that's good. She's just taking advantage. That's
Do you have
good.
that? Yeah, camera.
I should be in that one now.
Stand behind.
Okay, now.
Okay. Close. Again.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you.
Those who have snapped, you will not snap with them.
I'll tell you what to do. Of January. I go to
I want to be
Ghana
back.
for a month. But we will be in touch for a trip for you to come to Arizona.
Yes.
That's true. Okay. We'll be there for a good moment. Seven, 761.
We have formed,
Just continue something else to be taken. Pretend to write more.
oh, all right, more.
It's okay. You can stop now.
We're gonna write a whole book here.
Has read until he writes with his left hand.
That's
That is
because
so-
we're the
that is-
smartest people.
That's somebody, in other words, if somebody writes with the left hand, that person has learned, studied until writing is no longer a problem. So he writes that is everything with the left is.
Same sign with the left.
We're gonna put in here, si se puede.
Even Obama writes with the left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most Americans like that.
Oh, would you, I have something for you, speaking about Obama. Very nice picture for you, that you can have for your office.
Obama.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Wow, that's really good.
Okay. Okay, that's why. Okay, when they sign it, they should give it to you.
That's for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, this is a nice picture.
If you send me your email, I will send you a Christmas card from President Obama.
My email address is on the card.
When I get back, I will send you a Christmas card. But also their dog Bo signs. He makes a footprint with his paw, the dog.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't react, next 14 December, then.
Okay. This is my school. One of my, this is a school that's not virtual. This school is for young people that other schools don't want to have. We call them dropouts. I bring them back in, we educate, and then we graduate them. Yeah. So now you know how to get there, because it will be, this is Mexico here, Mexico, California, and the Pacific Ocean. These are our trees, the cactus and PPEP, and our state flag. So if you allow me to pin you, we'll be okay on this. Where the buttonhole is, so I don't make an extra hole in your suit. And it's going to look really nice because now you, and by the way, our governor is a woman, so we have good place. See? Very good.
We told you about Dr. John Arnold, who is an expert in microfinance and many other things. He's a builder. So he has come with his team. Certainly we're going to have a long lecture on microfinance, which is a school, and it does a lot of other activities. They are doing a lot of it in this country, especially in African countries. So I'll hand over the microphone to you so that you can do more of the introduction with his team and exactly on what he has come to do. So you listen carefully and attentively while he very much. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. And I know when you sit a long time, you start muscles starting going to sleep, and you don't listen well. So I want everybody to stand up. Do an exercise. Everybody stand up. Stand up. Now, the students in the U.S., when we want to wake up and want to feel good, feel empowered, they do a certain clap, and I'm going to show you how to do it. and it starts slow and ends with yes we can. So watch. We start slow like this. Go ahead. Okay. Now, she may become a very rich woman. How about if we offer her $1 million francs just to hold this bottle of water? Like this. Just hold it out. Okay. Now, would you like to have $1 million francs? Hold this water, and she'll have $1 million francs. And then she will have a microloan program and lend you all money. Now, the only problem is, I'm going to go right now with Mr. Polycarp. We've got to go back to Limbe because he forgot his laptop. And when we come back, if you're still holding the water, you get the $1 million francs. Now, what is happening to your arm? Starting to get heavy, right? Yes. Pretty soon she's going to and pretty soon she's going to drop it. Okay. Now, give me the water back, and you can sit down. You've done your experiment. It becomes bigger, and pretty soon it consumes your mind, your body, and drains you. So you need to learn to let go of stress. Because with every rainstorm starts one drop, and all of a sudden there's another drop, and another drop, and another drop. You must learn in your life to let go of stress. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about my school. If you were to go to my school, our students never go to class. They've never seen their teacher. And they've never seen their students. Every day I have 10,000 students that study. And how do you think they do that? Online, yeah? So, how does online school work? Online school is working. Okay? You can hear me? Okay. So, my students may be working at home, they may be at the internet cafe, they may be at the library, wherever there's a computer. Maybe I'll get over here a little bit more. And so, yeah, that sounds better. So, my students, the teachers are all online, virtual, and the students are all virtual. But that doesn't mean they do not know each other. That does not mean they do not know their teacher, because they do. Maybe even more than you know your own friends and your own people. It's because they develop a very close personal relationship online. In America, the young people hire the technology, the text messaging, so it's very normal to study online. So when I go to a graduation of my school, that is the first time they ever see their fellow students, and the first time they ever see their teacher. You think they're looking like that? No, they run up and hug each other, and they talk like they have known each other forever. So, online learning, that's what I do at online learning schools. But I value, also I have 7 schools like this one that the students do attend classes. So I understand the value of both. So we didn't really come to talk about the education came to talk about microfinance. So, what is microfinance? Who knows? Is it a microscope? You're looking at little bugs or something, or what? What is microfinance? How many of you saw microfinance, micro business on your way to school? Every one of you saw a micro business on the way to school. Who was it? Maybe the lady cooking corn on the side of the road, or the farmer planting their seeds, or the person that has a small shop selling something, or producing something, or supplying something. Now, the United States of America is the most powerful country on earth economically, and it is made up of all the societies of the world. The African American, Hispanic, the Irish, all the people came. And they came with an idea of industry. But industry comes with finance. So, in our country today, in the United States, 80%, write that down, 80% of all the businesses in the United States are micro businesses, or they're businesses of 5 employees or less. I'm going to repeat that again. 80% of the businesses in the United States are of 5 employees or less. Okay? So what does that mean? The engine of the economy, the strongest economic power in the world, is run by micro or small businesses. So if you come to Cameroon, probably 90% or 95% of your businesses are the small entrepreneurial people that work every day to supply the needs that you and I need to live. And that's what micro business is about, or any business, is supplying a product that somebody else needs and is willing to pay for. So, what year did micro business start? Maybe 1 million years ago. We don't know, but we know small business has always been with mankind. It's always been there. Even in the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, all of those, the Romans, the Greeks, their whole economy was built on the very, very small businesses. So, what does that imply to you? All right, let's cut this group into half here. Let me walk right over here, and we're going to divide this group here and this group here. Now, during your lifetime, half of you will own your own business. The other half will work for somebody else. So either you're going to work for yourself, or you're going to work for somebody else. So, I think you should be preparing for both things. I still don't know what I want to be. Every year I'm doing something new. So I'm preparing myself, and I had a good preparation in college. I went to the University of Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, which is the southwest part of the United States. I got my bachelor's, 2 masters, and a PhD. But it wasn't the paper that counted, it's what I learned in the classroom. Even if I had gone to school, I probably would have done all right. But you need also to study. So, half of you are going to own your own business. What kind of a business? How many of you already have a small business? Okay, how many? Let's see, let's talk to somebody here and find out what they're doing for a business idea, so we can get an idea what students do.
Yeah, I am Bambani Physico of chemistry level 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a small microfinance for students of the University of Bamenda. I call it Est Bobani Help Students Fund. It began this year on the 6th of November 2012, and it's going up.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm
talk right into the microphone.
I'm Chinelo Regina. I'm operating a private salon at Chevy. I've been doing it for the past 10 years. So when I started education, I dropped it. But now I'm working with somebody after school. I go to the salon and I work there.
Is it just for men or women?
Yeah, half is provisional drawing and half is female
Okay, what was it again? What kind of business?
What kind of business again?
I didn't come over. Okay, email center and provisional store.
I'm a micro business. I do sell things during the
So, good idea. All right, who else had your hand up? Nobody else? Boy, you're going to have to get on the road if 85% of the economy.
I have a new business, it's called crypto. That is what you pay me to listen to you. No, people have a lot of problems. We have nobody to speak. We have nobody to speak to. So I offer the service where you pay me. Where you speak to
Anybody else need free advertising today? This is free advertising time.
I have a micro business. I deal in sheep and Ronald Street.
Okay. Real estate and real rhinoceros or you carve them? You make them out of wood? Okay. I was scared you were going to bring a real rhinoceros in here today. Okay, good idea.
I usually call work during the holidays. Call work, transacting with people.
Okay. All right, let's give all of our big hand. Big hand. Okay. Expenses equals profit. If you don't have a profit, you have a charity. You don't want to be giving away stuff. You've got to make an income. So remember that little formula. Income minus your expenses equals your profit. You must, that's the formula. That's the equation. That's the equation you must have to be a successful business. I want to tell you about a story of a lady, we're going to call her Mabel. Good old Mabel decided one day she was going to make cakes. She was going to make sweet cakes. She had this wonderful idea, I'm going to make sweet cakes. Everybody will eat my sweet cake. So, Mabel bought a small loan, and then she went to make the cakes. But she didn't know how to make cakes. But so she made up a cake she thought everybody would like. So then when good old Mabel, the only time you could sell those cakes was at the market on Sunday morning early, before church. Well, she was too lazy to get up. So she got there after everybody had gone to church, so nobody bought her cakes. So she said, well, I know my children and my family will eat my cakes. So she went home and the children said, wow, this is terrible. I've never tasted worse cakes in my life. So, what happened to poor Mabel? What was the problem? First of all, she did not do a marketing study. Now, if you think about it, you might find a little niche for yourself and your own business. It's extremely important to look at the marketing study. Now, I was just in Limbe, and you may have seen us on national television the other night from Limbe. We dedicated a micro-business incubator. Now, I'll explain what the incubator is in a minute, for women with sewing. The thing that's different about the women, they all had diabetes. So, we made micro-loan, we rented a facility, okay, and we bought the different kinds of machines. You need the zigzag, you need the regular sewing machines, the marking machines. How many of you saw it on national television? Any of you see that the other night? It showed all over the country on Tuesday night. But anyway, if you didn't, I'll explain what it was. So, the idea of an incubator. Now, when you go to a hospital, you know what do they use incubators in the hospital for? For immature babies, right? For babies that haven't quite made it and need a little bit of extra care so they can go out and go on their own. A micro-business incubator does the same thing. These 5 women, for maybe 6 months, 1 year, 18 months, will work in the micro-business. So it's called the high-tech tailoring shop, and it's right on the main street in Limbe. And right there, people come in and have their clothing made. So each woman has their own small business in the same room, and as they have set up, they call it Strap Up Nigeria, where the students are using their extra time to go to the communities to teach the children to read. And they found corporate sponsors to help pay for their expenses. Well, students can do many things, using that as one example. But you can get together and provide services. Maybe some of you, how many of you know how to do construction skills? Know how to build a house? Well, okay, some of you do. How many of the women know how to sew? How to make dresses? Okay, maybe you 4 or 5 should get together and start your own little cooperative shop. You know, in numbers, sometimes you can create more business and you have more resources to support what you're doing. So, the other thing I wanted to mention, one young man talked about technology. He talked about technology. Have you heard of Facebook? Was a young man that created Facebook. How old was he? 21 years old. He created Facebook. He's now the richest person on earth. He learned through technology something that nobody else thought about. He thought about, why not having a Facebook on the internet where people could see each other and communicate? So, technology is important. And that's why my schools, actually, I really push technology because I believe it's the future. So, I know it's hard to find computers, but if you can afford internet cafes, I know in Ghana, where I live, our students go a lot. I see them always at the internet cafes. They're communicating because the internet is the window of the world. It's the window of the world. So if you can latch on technology, it's extremely important. Remember, every day I have 10,000 students in my school that are studying online in America. And I can't emphasize how important the future is for every country to have technology, to have that learning. And you can learn on your phones a lot too. Because a lot of the cell phones now have a lot of things that they can do. So communicate, and always think, if you're interested in business, to look for the market of something somebody needs that you can produce that they can pay for. Remember, profit minus expenses, or income minus expenses equals profit. So, I talked enough, and I always know my students say, "Uh-oh, you talk too much, time to sit down." So I always listen to my students, and I always think in my mind, okay, I said too much, it's time now to ask questions. Because you probably know more than I do what you need to know. So we're going to take a little time to answer some questions about microbusiness, about technology. There's one other thing I want to talk to you about. I just came from Ethiopia. The president of Ethiopia invited me and my friend Dr. Cousins to speak about the natural cure of diabetes. How many of you know somebody has diabetes? Probably everybody knows somebody has diabetes. If not, you're not looking. You need to correct your vision, because everybody's family, somebody has diabetes. Maybe something you can cure? Of course you can. Because it's only because of the food and the things that you drink that you get diabetes. So, there's a book that I have here. It's kind of interesting. Maybe you can find the book. It's in the other part. In America, the young people are starting to say, wait a minute, I want to take better care of my body. I don't want Pepsi-Cola, I don't want Coca-Cola, I don't want sweet cakes or sugar in my diet. So many of the teenagers in the United States have gotten rid of them. And it's probably smart. Many teenagers in the U.S. do not eat any dairy food, no dairy products, no milk, no cheese, and they do not eat meat. So what do they eat? They eat vegetables, they eat raw foods. Matter of fact, these two teenagers made this book they call Eating Without Heating. In other words, in the kitchen, there's not even a stove. And so it's kind of interesting what they have been able to eat. Now, raw food includes nothing cooked, like vegetables, nuts, fruits, yams, so all of the things that are natural. Why should we eat that? Because we have to be careful that you develop a strong body. You think now that you have all the strength. My two daughters have 115 and 119, and they say, oh yeah, everything. Yeah, but you have to realize someday you get older. And the things you eat now will determine the body you have later on in life. If you want to live a long life and a healthy life, you need to start eating well now. So I'm going to give you 3 things to think about if you want to reduce your incidence of diabetes by 80%. Number 1, forget about the sweet drinks and drink the heavenly drink. What's a heavenly drink? Water, because it comes from heaven. 80% of your body is water. So if you get up here and drink a Coca-Cola, your body has to take the color out, has to take the sugar out, has to take the preservatives out, just to convert it back to water. So why are the strongest athletes in the world vegan or vegetarian? Did you know the top football players, the top basketball players, the top Olympic people, they don't eat meat. They don't consume sugar. They don't consume alcohol. And that's why their bodies are so strong. So think about your own body and care enough and love your body as much as that you eat the right things, drink the right things, and then remember the stress test. Get rid of stress. And the third thing is to exercise. Not only your mind that you're in school, but taking that walk at night or in the morning or whenever you can. So exercise, reduce stress, eat and drink well. And that will be a key, because you can't have a business if you're sick all the time. So those are a few ingredients. So now, question time, and let's see what we can do with
research, TikTok of micro businesses and technology. I would like to know the relationship and their importance.
The what?
The relationship between micro businesses and technology and their importance.
Oh, okay. What is the relationship between, is it working? Can you hear it? Not working. Let me walk back up here. Technology and micro business relate. Somebody said they had a technology. Who was the man that said they had technology as his micro business? Somebody stood up and said they had some kind of internet thing. Well, that would be a connection right there. I know some young people that have gotten laptops and started their own internet cafe. So technology is very definitely. Also, I know some students at Imo State University that have set up shops outside the university, and they do all the data entry for the papers, you know, like return papers, and they do very well. So all around Imo State University, you know, we're in Nigeria, I see micro business with young people that have computers. Students will come in, say, I have to have this paper typed for my class, and they do very well. So that's one example, okay? Another question? We're going to have to, I'll go back and they have to come up here because of the signal.
An idea for a good business is one thing, but getting the funding to create a business, Apple, and so what techniques do you need to know to get funding?
Okay, so you have this idea and you want to have a business, so how do you get it financed? Other way we do in the U.S., we get investors. We get 4 or 5 people that believe in your idea, willing to put some money, and then you share some of your profits back with them. We call it profit sharing. So microcredit loan funds, that is one way you can get a startup money, but you must do a business plan, and it must be very clear what your intent is, and how you're going to pay the loan back, and who your market is, and if your product is good. So you have to be well prepared to get a loan. So think about all of those things. All right,
I told them that there is a school, there are schools in Europe, school for clowns. So all these are entrepreneurship. They should not only think of going to start a small business. A small business is a small business. Now, but for us to carry it forward, maybe Doctor could give us or throw light on how we could create this, encourage these people to form groups, and then teach and sponsor them somehow or kickstart them.
Okay.
So that's
loan program. It is a loan with training, and the training starts before the loan, in the loan process, and long afterwards. I started a loan fund in Ghana, and I came back a year later. They'd given out all the money, but they never had any classes, and so the people were struggling. So you have to have strong training. So that's how the answer is. Micro business is not just about loans. Most of it is about training people to start a business, develop a business, and be successful. So you have to get good people. I've been bringing a man who's a lawyer from Nigeria here to the Bambui area, to Limbe, where we start our microloan program because they've been very successful there. And he does the training, and he does the encouraging that you're talking about. I'll tell you a business we were looking at today over at Mama's house where I'm staying. I asked the people in the room about face painting. You know face painting? It's very popular in the United States. We get colored paints, and they'll make flowers. It's when you go to parties like the clown does. Ma'am? Like the clown does. The clown does face painting. So we have color paints. They're oil-based, so you can wash them off. So you go to the party, and every time there's a festival, people are decorating. Children love it, and they will go to a park for it. But face painting is very popular in the U.S., Mexico, and I think in Europe too, right? So, do you know what I'm talking about? You just paint a flower, paint a design, very bright colors. This is during a time when you're having a party or a festival, but in the U.S., man, the clowns, you were talking about clowns. You're not listening. You're talking about clowns. You're talking about clowns, right? The clowns in the U.S. do face painting. And they... So you put 1,000 francs away, we call for the rainy day. The rainy day. That means for the time when business is low. So yes, savings, education, and the loan fund are the three key things. We have time for maybe 2 more questions. I know you guys are getting tired because I've been talking too much. So let me go over here and talk to you. So savings, education, and lending are the 3 main ingredients of micro business.
Well, before I ask my question to Doctor, I would want to give an advice to one of my colleagues that way on how he can get his funding. When you want to do your business, you don't have to be selfish. That is, I went to Douala and sold my shares there by proposing a very good dividend that no businessman will reject. So when you want to do your business, for the start, the supplier or the person who is going to fund your business, you make sure that you give him a good proportion of the amount. He will not reject. And then make sure that the plan of the business is friction-free. And then my question to Prof now is, to Doctor please, is in your school, in your distance learning school, or in your online school, I want to find out how many students are there from Cameroon, and whether they have to come to abroad during the time of graduation. Thank you.
Well, students are everywhere and nowhere in my school. I always say everywhere and nowhere. I don't know I have no idea where my students are at any time. I don't know. I had one girl, one young lady, listen to this, she became, you know what bowling is? You do bowling? Bowling, you know, you go to bowling? Bowling, do they do that here? Who knows? It's a game that we play in the U.S. where you throw a ball and it goes all the way down and knocks over some pins. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. One of my students, she became, a young girl, she became the national champion of all United States of the sport of bowling. So, guess where her school was? She would sit in the chair waiting for her turn to perform. That's when she would do. She might be in one city today and bowling in another city the next day and another day. So I have no idea where my students are. But I do know when they are online. Because with technology, I can track how many hours, how many minutes each of my students was online. And guess what? You know what time my students are online? From 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. How many of you are up like that? How many of you study? I know this young lady here, she's in my host house. She gets up at 2 or 3 in the morning and she's studying. How many are like her that you study at night? Yeah. Do you know why? Because young people have endorphins in their mind. You're thinking towards the back part of your brain. As you grow older, you towards the front of your brain. But right now, and my daughter, Chaska, she loves to study from about 1 to 4 or 5 in the morning, and then she wakes up or goes to sleep. So, you never know. Okay, one other question. What do we have? Somebody over in the far side over here? We want to have a house, maybe an automobile, be safe, have a good family, and our children better than us. That is what our goal is about. So how do we get there? You are the thinkers of the future. You are going to replace all of us up here very soon. You will become the leaders of the world. So you must think, you must answer your own question. You have the answer. I don't have the answer to your question. Each one of you are going to have to figure out how to make it work. And I gave you a few key ideas today. Think about other people need that you can produce and you can sell. And once again, the formula of income minus expenses equals profit. So, we're going to stand up one more time and we're going to do our yes we can, and then you're all, I guess, dismissed. So stand up. Now we can see who was sleeping, the ones that didn't get up, right? Okay, are we ready? Okay. Okay, ready?
That sums up everything which Dr. John Arnold was talking about. And he said, across some year, most business in the US are about five employees. The rest are what? The rest are what? He talked of online. Most of the people do things online. That's the technology which Doc was talking about. To us, so that the students can actually see what's happening in your schools over there and display to them, and they will see you there and your team. So you see exactly what's happening, and they will know practically, and they will feel practically what microfinance business is all about. So, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Before I end up, I would just like to introduce to Dr. John Arnold that Professor Fortune. She's in charge of academic affairs in the Higher Institute of Management of University of Bamenda. She just came in when you were talking. That's Professor Fortune. Let me stand up, please. And the coordinator of the Business World Corporation in the university, Professor Bamenda, is sitting behind you. And I would like Dr. John Arnold. Yes, our young lady here, she's not from the US, she's here. She's doing accountancy in the 5th year of her set. But she's here in the Barbie Water Project coordinating and helping Dr. Arnold who came from the US. So she's one of them. Of course, you know Armstrong who teaches accountancy. Dr. Arnold, she's been here. In fact, she is working very hard with Yes, the gentlemen that are trying to bring water, the Bamboo Water Corporation, and also to extend the water aspect within the university. You know, within the university we don't have water. So those are some of the aspects that we're benefiting from. They will bring water here, not only water, bring agriculture, bring technology. In fact, some of you will live here and go to the United States. We're just preparing that when some of you are passing where you go to school and go to the US. And he's really there welcoming people. Our Vice Chancellor will be leaving, I think, tonight for the US. And definitely, maybe he will be in touch with you. So we're actually grateful. And I think if you have one last word to talk to them, or Prof. Bama, you say something.
We're going to learn some Spanish words right now. And Fernando and Teresa know what I'm going to talk about. They're going to help me. Remember we said yes we can? Who used yes we can recently in the U.S.? President Obama. Do you know how President Obama won the election? Through the young people. You know, you talk about the question of technology. Millions of college students, university students, they were organized with technology and they got the people out to vote for President Obama the first time and now the second time. This time he won 330 to 206. And the other side had billions of dollars. He didn't have a lot of money, but all of the technology, the text messaging and all the online communication. See, in the United States, the students through Facebook and texting, they're totally organized. So if you translate yes we can into Spanish, it's simply si se puede. Si se puede. And that was used by one of the most famous organizers of the unions of the farm workers in America called Cesar Chavez. Anybody ever heard of Cesar Chavez? You should look him up sometime. He was like the Martin Luther King was for the black people, for the Latino people. Anyway, let's try a couple of words. Si means yes, se means we, and then puede means we can. So, si se puede. Si se puede. Okay, I'm going to go around and see who's not saying it, and then they get the practice. Okay. All right. You better say it this time, right? You talk. Okay, I'm going to watch. Si se puede. Si se puede. You're chewing gum. Si se puede. She was very good. Okay. All right, let's see. Ready again. Si se puede. Si puede. It's not. Oh, she's talking to her boyfriend on her cell phone. Uh-oh. See, even though talking to her boyfriend on the phone, she got it. So that must be very easy for the rest of sister. You lost your pen. Who's selling pens? Here, you can have this pen. Just joking. Okay, so we end up si se puede. Si se puede. What does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, we can. All right, that's enough. If you didn't hear anything else, who should your boyfriend or your girlfriend be? That's a very strong question. Who knows the answer of who should be your boyfriend or who should be your girlfriend? Who knows? Does anybody know? That's a very strong question. Who was your boyfriend? Who was the boyfriend? She knows, so she can't tell. She's heard me speak before. So, okay, you come tell me.
Your boyfriend or your girlfriend should be your school books and your school bags.
All right, you got that, right? Okay. All right, you didn't expect that one, did you? You didn't expect that one. Now, that doesn't mean you have to break off your with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, but your books. Now, this is this young man's girlfriend. This is your girlfriend until you graduate. Okay? Where's your... This is your pen is your boyfriend until you graduate. Okay? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. My school created to help a lot of young women that had early pregnancies and had to drop out of school. So I created a school for women and young parents and working parents so they could come back to school. So I know how tragic it can be. So be very careful in the way you treat your body, and those men, how you respect women, and women, how you try to turn men on. You need to be very careful because your main thing right now is your education. Okay? So be cool, as we say in the U.S., and we'll catch you later. Bye. production of agriculture in the world. Matter of fact, during the wintertime, we produce most of the vegetables for North America in the desert where there's no water. So you may wonder how that happened, but thousands of years ago, the native people, the first people that lived in our region of Arizona, dug canals, and they tapped the water from the mountains. Those same canals are used today. It's called the Central Arizona Project. It's now 800 kilometers long, and it produces some of the richest farming in the world. So we come from a region where there is no water, but that's why we've grown to respect water in every sense. Even the water from the roofs we collect in cisterns. And we do not have grass in our front yards. We put stones because they don't require water, but they're very beautiful also. And we have plants that do not use much water. We recycle the water from our toilets, and it's clean, and we use it in irrigating our parks. And so if you go on and on, the harvesting of rain. You talk about harvesting crops, we harvest rain. And so a little bit about us, but that's actually I do other things. I operate an NGO called Project PPEP. Matter of fact, I'll give you a card and a little bit about us and so forth and so on. But basically, we started in 1967, part of the, you may remember the Civil Rights Movement in the United States by Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was a great civil rights leader. And out of that came funding to start different projects. I decided I wanted to start a project in the agricultural regions of Arizona, among what we call the farm workers. Not the farmers, but the farm workers. So I asked for money for our training school. And all they gave me was an old bus, a transport bus. So I said, fine, I will make the transport bus my school. So now I have 10,000 students that study online, virtually in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Arizona, and then I have 7 other schools. But we do everything from educating the young people from the farms all the way up to the grandparents that can still get an education. We do organic farming, and we do vegan farming. Vegan farming. As a matter of fact, we're offering 4 master's scholarships for 1 year, fully paid, including transportation, room and board, to come to Arizona and learn about becoming vegan farmers. Vegan farmers are totally what we call raw food. I don't know if you're familiar with too many of those terms, but the raw foods are definitely something of interest. For instance, the young people in the United States, they talk a lot about eating without heating. So when you go to our kitchens, there is no stove.
Yeah.
We don't need one. So what would we eat? These young people, they're showing some of the things that they make. These are all without sugar, without salts, without any chemicals. It's all pure food. You can see. And so vegan farming is actually producing raw food. There's no fertilizers. There's only composting. And I told a story, and I'm sorry for the other people who've heard it, but we have an organic farm that we think is highly developed. And they asked someone asked me, what is on your farm? I said, we have greenhouses. We have greenhouses that are heated by the sun. We have these big barrels of water that heat up during the day. And they keep the greenhouse warm at night, even though it may be 0 degrees outside. So we found ways to use the sun and so forth. And we use our animals a little bit differently. And I was asked if we had any chickens. And I said, yes, we have chickens. And they said, do you eat your chickens? And we say, of course not. Why would you ever eat your chickens? And they kind of looked at me like, you're looking kind of strange. But because our chickens work for us, they're our employees. So in the morning, the chickens go out and they eat all the pests. So we use no pesticides in our farm. We have 200 chickens every day work for us as our, take care of all of our bugs. At night they come in and roost, and their droppings become our compost. So we use no fertilizers. And so then they produce organic eggs, which we sell. And some of the chicks we hatch and we sell, and that helps us sustain our farm. Then, in our farm, most of what we produce, we do not sell. We donate. So we will produce a great harvest, and I have a video that I'll leave you, I'll send to you. And our farm produces so much. So we take it to the food kitchens of the elderly. We take it to the church where the hungry people are.
And visiting the quarters and
Here in Bamenda.
And assessing the impact of the Bamenda University into the community in terms of environmental, economical and social as well. So from that perspective, we wrote our conclusions, and basically the agriculture, as you know, it's the most important income generator for the families, and the possible assistance that you may give would bring such a strong improvement and will have such a high impact. We also noticed that because of the construction of the university, the prices, there are more pressure now in the farms, into the farmers. To rent a farm now costs more than it costed 3 years ago. So land management, water management, and the skills, the farmer techniques are very, very important to help the community, the sustainable development. So this is just one of the aspects, and the other one is the water. We also have a very important program with Bangui Water Authority involving Mr. Polycarp. He will also be mentoring the whole program, where we will have in Bangui 3 water engineers looking at the water resources and identifying quantity, quality, and mapping the demand. Where is the demand of water now? So we can have a good system in place to provide water not only for the domestic use and for the university, but especially for the farmers. Because if you, as Dr. Arnold said, if you have water, then your farming, your harvesting can improve very. So we came together, and he kindly invited us to join him in
well, you're
this
more
mission.
important than
Thank you. But thank you so much.
But I think one thing that she said, first of all, I strongly recommend them, and also Polycarp. You have within your area here a great resource that is very community grassroots, which all universities want to get to that grassroots level. These people can help that happen. The other ingredient is micro-business. We have been investing money into the microcredit fund here in Bangui so that the farmers can come and get seeds and so forth. So that's very important. Also, we have been funding microloan to 2 of the youth farms. One group of young people grows Irish potatoes, and the other grows the tomatoes. So we're funding them all through the microcredit. The other thing you'll see on television, national television, maybe tonight or tomorrow, the last 2 days we've been dedicating corn mill grinding centers.
Okay, yeah, I saw it in the program.
Yeah, so that is what we are doing, and it's very exciting because of the study that they did. We realized if we put 5 of these corn milling machines, we could affect the lives of 6,000 people who are having to carry the corn all the way to the junction or the corners. Maybe
We had a training program that we called the Farm Family Visit,
And it is within that framework that our students will found in the various villages, going right into the farmers' farms to visit them, give them, offer counsels, and even work with them.
Yes, exactly.
Because they were not just talking, but they were also applying with them together in the farms. And they also, when they are there, we go down to follow them up and to give additional counsel right on the spot. I think this program has been seriously felt in the villages. But I think trainers at each community, it has a very big multiplier effect. Because once you train one person, he is able to train 10 persons, and the 10 persons is able to train 100 persons, and see the multiplier effect is there. I think that would be a very, very nice program for us to build their capacities, and it's going to incite many to join the field of agriculture, because the idea is that generally it is left to those who don't have the power anymore to do it. Young ones sometimes reluctant to enter into the field of agriculture, but I think with such a program, I think it's a very nice one. And I was just talking to the chairman and telling him that we have to make good use of all those institutions we have around here.
Yeah. Right.
Bambui should benefit first. From all those expertise we have around, all the technical know-how we have around. And just what she said is true. When I came here about 15 years ago, I was buying a bucket of potato, 400 francs.
Now it's 2,000.
Yeah. It's quite expensive. Yeah. All this one is because of all what we see today, the university, the School of Agriculture, things are evolving, and if our production does not work, it will be extremely difficult. I think such a program will be very interesting, and it's going to have the community at large.
And I think because you have the Bakuna and you have the corridors already organized, those places that we can reach and go down and reach a lot of people, like bringing all the quarter people together, doing the trainers, or you can reach a lot of people by working with these folks.
And because the land is the same and the small land, we need to produce more with the same land. So we need to implement the land management and the water management. These two need to grow together, and we are going to achieve a very good result. Because even we can produce twice a year. With the same land, we can harvest twice a year.
Just be water irrigation.
Because we have the sun, this beautiful sun, strong sun, water, fertile land, water.
We call it the Garden of Eden here.
Yeah, even somebody told us it's called the garden.
Can I say something? You talked about 2 times a year. In the desert, we have 6 planting cycles in 1 year.
Yeah, you see?
6 planting cycles that we do. And if the desert can do it, think of what you can do.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the reason we're offering this master's program that you asked for a year, for 4 students, we want to teach vegan farming so that they can come back knowing that there's alternatives, that they can grow crops that are very healthy. They don't have to use all the expensive fertilizers or chemicals. Doesn't mean we're saying not to, but we should give them an alternative because some people can't afford those things. But even the scraps from your table, we collect those in the U.S. and people always have a little compost bin. Even the rich people do this. They just put it all there, and then later on in a few weeks it's compost. They put it on their flowers or their plants. And so we need to teach them some organic farming, because I think if you Would you, also another thing you could consider, the 4 people that we will be sending to the U.S.
Yes.
for the master's program, maybe we could co-enroll them at your university along with the Tree of Life so that they have credits from the United States, but they have dual credits here.
That's one possibility.
Because that would be another nice thing to be able to offer.
That's also another possibility.
Because we do that a lot of times with universities. They co-enroll, and the credits from over there would be here, and hopefully those people could come and give lectures later on. If they train the trainer.
That's good.
That's why we're doing this for a year, and they should come back with a lot of vegan training.
That's good.
So that would be something we'd work out with your curriculum people. We'll send you our curriculum. Would we send it to you or to who?
No, whoever. If you send it to me, she's going to work on it.
Whoever, that would be good. Did I, would you get your card?
You give that email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, he's this one.
Okay, he's the camera.
Yeah.
Finish, that's it.